I'm Kristen Linares. I'm the owner of 13th in Washington, and I'm here with Julie from Blissoma.
Hello.
And we're going to talk, or I'm going to ask Julie a little bit about ingredients, what's in different products and why, her products are a little bit better than most.
Oh.
This has become my favorite now. So this is one of your products.
Mm-hmm.
And is this one just called Free?
The product is called Free, and then it's part of our ultra sensitive collection.
This is probably why it's worked so well on my skin. I think my skin is ultra sensitive, and it got rid of so much of the acne paired with that smooth serum.
Mm-hmm.
This just has done wonders. And it makes my skin so balanced, and everybody I use it on, the same thing. It's not too dry, it's not too oily, it's right in between. So can you just explain a little bit about why it's so awesome?
Basically, we had a rice cleanser that was a part of the line for a number of years now, and it's been really popular. But some people are just not used to the way it felt on the skin. We needed a cleanser that was kind of more traditional, in terms of the feel, and a lot of people like a gel consistency, as well as an option. So, I started working on it, and we had some organic soap bark on hand because we were putting it in our yoga mat cleanser. So I kind of started with the yoga mat cleanser as a base idea, for where can I take this, it's working this way in this formulation, so how can I tweak that? And, obviously the herbs that are in this are completely different than what's in the other product, but I just went for something that's really mild, and the soap bark is a really effective cleansing agent, and it is not actually a soap. It has natural saponins. Have you ever seen, now they have these little, it's like a soap nut that you can use in your laundry.
Really?
Unless you shop at sometimes I've seen Whole Foods and whatever.
But not, those are probably the artificially scented and all that, like the scent beads, is that what you're talking about? No?
They're soap nuts, and they basically produce, out of the nut, you put the nut in your laundry instead of just like a powdered detergent.
That's so cool.
And the saponins that come out of the nut wash your clothes.
Very cool.
Yeah. So this is Quillaja extract. It's a South American plant and tree, actually. And it's the soap bark extract is a food grade organic ingredient. So it's actually used in a lot of foods, like ice creams. Organic ice creams might use it to help keep because basically that's an ice crystal suspension,
so
as they
your
freeze.
emulsifier type of thing. Okay,
Yeah.
I'm burning.
Yeah, so it would perform that type of a function.
Okay.
And so it was something we were using in the yoga mat cleanser, and I wanted, I knew it was going to be good for something else because the feel of that on hands, and you can use it on your hands and feet, and it does a nice job of cleaning up before you practice. And
very cool.
yeah, so I just started doing some different herb infusions, and the herbs that are used in this are all really mild and good for sensitive skin. However, they all have rejuvenating benefits and are okay for use around the eyes as well. So something like the cornflowers that are in here, those can be used if your eyes are just irritated, from dust or smog or being tired. You can actually just make an infusion of cornflowers and use it as an eye wash.
So when you say infusion, what is that process like? What are you is it steeping tea bags or something like that?
It's basically like steeping tea, it's much stronger, and you usually let it go for longer.
Okay.
So that you're getting more out, anywhere from 15 minutes up to an entire hour, depending on how long you want to let it steep. And then some herbs like barks or roots that are very woody, the traditional way to do those is a decoction, which is basically a simmered mixture. And so you simmer it for 30 minutes instead of, so it's not like a fast process as much, as it would be if you were making a cup of tea. And then the amount that you're using, you generally would be increased for something where you're not focusing on how it tastes. You're
Right.
focusing on what it's doing to the skin. So then we mixed that with like the glycerin, and there's some grapeseed oil and sunflower oil, but just enough of the oils to basically condition the skin. Because when I was experimenting with initial versions, I didn't really have any oil in there. It was just like a straight gel with like the glycerin and herbs and soap bark. And I kind of was finding that it was like taking too much moisture out of my skin. Like I was almost cleansing too effectively. I generally tend to like have a very good guideline. Like if something is working decently on me, it's generally going to be okay for other people. And especially moisture content wise, you know, I'm in my 30s. My skin's not as resilient as it used to be. Like when I was in my early 20s, I could do practically anything to my skin, and it was just very bouncy, and like I had no problems.
Right.
At that point, I mean, I had acne in like my late teens and stuff, but once I got into my 20s, that kind of settled down, and I really pretty much would just splash my face off with water, and that's all I ever did to it. I test by washing my face like over and over again with the test batches, and if it's making me feel like kind of puckery and uncomfortable, I know it's gonna do the same thing for other people.
Right.
And I'm really picky about, especially cleansers. I think cleansing is something that's just, it's something that's misunderstood or done incorrectly, like, or people don't see the value of it. Like they will pay a lot for a moisturizer, but sometimes don't, you know, give their cleanser, right, and then they don't give their cleanser as much credit as like their moisturizer for what it's doing for their skin. They pretty much think like the serum or the moisturizer is going to do everything that they need,
Right.
and that's going to be what saves their skin. But unfortunately, if you're cleansing with something that's wrong for your skin type, or that's not taking good care of your skin, and it's leaving your skin aggravated, then you're not going to get the best effect out of the rest of your products. So I'm really, really big on cleansers being balancing and comforting and leaving the skin in great condition, so that you do get the best experience out of everything else that you're using. Because if you aggravate your skin, that can stay with you for like the whole rest of the day.
Yeah.
So, because it really does take your skin a while to bounce back from something that's irritating it, whether that's over drying it or, you know, providing an ingredient that's an irritant for you in particular, you know, if you're like sensitive or allergic to something, or whether it's just, you know, that your skin doesn't do well with pH changes, and so, you know, bar soaps aren't a good option then.
Right. I guess like irritating the skin could be kind of like getting a bruise, in the sense a bruise would take a lot longer to bounce back to normal, but it's the same idea of where you're like essentially bruising your whole face for the day, and then it's got to calm down after a long period of time.
Yeah, it's essentially inflammation, and inflammation is a big cause of like of aging. You know, if you're aging your skin too quickly, then because it's spending all of its time trying to recuperate from that aggravation versus just defending itself from other outside influences. So really, your skin isn't even in the best shape then to defend itself against the sun or the wind or whatever else you come in contact with.
Right.
Stop irritating your skin over and over and over again every day. Whether it's like, you know, everybody thinks glycolic acid is so awesome, and it can be okay occasionally, but you don't need it in every product that you're using.
Now, what is that just like what am I trying to say? A exfoliator?
Yes, it's
like
an
a chemical exfoliator,
right.
Basically.
And people have started using it in practically everything because they believe it's like the answer to anti-aging is just, you know, the glycolic acid, it's exfoliating, your skin's renewing itself, whatever. But if you're doing that too much, you're just basically burning your skin, because there is such a thing as too much acid, you know, and exfoliating too much.
Right.
Your skin can only handle so much exfoliation. And so exfoliation is very good in a sense that you do need to do it because you need to keep your skin renewing itself and sloughing off whatever's dead. But if you're constantly eating away at the good, fresh, live skin cells, that's just causing your skin, you know, damage and pain and,
Oh, your poor skin.
Yeah. and I have seen interesting, like, there are product lines out there that with the guidance of an esthetician can be good for like pigmentation issues, where like they do really aggressive treatments over the course of time.
Right.
And basically in order to, like, pigmentation issues, especially exfoliation is one of the ways that they deal with getting rid of that, because you're forcing the skin to slough off, and that
Right.
plus other products to keep the pigment from getting redeposited is one of the ways that you do that. But I mean, people basically report sometimes that their face is like red, and just kind of swollen and hurting.
I've seen that before, and it's scary.
It's not pretty. And so people now are using glycolic acid in like sometimes 3 out of 4 products that they're using in the mornings. Maybe they have it in their cleanser and a serum and it's in their moisturizer. It's too much. The answer for what you need to do for anti-aging needs to come from other things as well, other ingredients besides just constantly applying an acid to your skin. There really are more products out there that actually hurt people more than they help them, because people think that more is better.
Yep.
There's like, if I take 3,000 milligrams of vitamin C versus 1,000, it's better.
Yeah.
Well, no, at a certain point, your body just can't handle it anymore. And it either gets eliminated, or sometimes you can go into toxicity with, too much of something. So skincare really needs to be approached from an angle where you're nurturing yourself on a constant basis, like addressing damage constantly, little bits at a time, because you don't age all at once.
Right.
It takes years of buildup, to get from, the way you looked at 20 to the way you look at 50.
Right.
So, and your skin is just not designed to handle, more than certain amounts of certain ingredients, or, more than a certain amount of input, and it's going to react by going, no, stop, I can't handle this. I'm hurting, lay off for a while. And so the best approach is one that kind of tries to counteract the damage as it's happening. So, using antioxidants, vitamins, things that are going to help protect your cell DNA before it becomes irreparably damaged, because mutations basically occur over time as your skin cells reproduce. So if you're using really good vitamins and antioxidants that are kind of protecting those cells and helping them replicate better, that's one of the things about resveratrol that resveratrol does. It helps cells replicate their DNA properly. And that way you end up with cells that look more like they did at 20 than at 50, because you've protected them over the course of those years from degenerating further. People kind of expect to be able to like do whatever they want to do and then go get a serum and it's going to fix everything.
Right.
And that's not really how it works. And in my opinion, most companies that are selling you something that they're claiming it's going to like fix all your problems,
Like a magic wand.
yeah, they probably should walk away, because they're probably just there to take your money.
Right.
Because people in this feeling of like desperation, like, oh my gosh, I want to fix this now, will pay more than they should for things that don't really do what they claim.
Yep.
And
that's such a disappointment too.
It is. It really is. And it makes you feel bad. Like the whole process makes you feel bad.
Yep.
You feel bad, so you buy the product, and then you feel bad because it didn't work like it was supposed to, and then you still feel bad about yourself.
Yeah.
Instead, I would urge people to take a more healthy approach to the whole process and take care of yourself the whole time. If you are nurturing yourself on a constant basis, those things are less likely to happen.
Right.
And you're more likely to just feel good about yourself in general, because you've been taking good care of yourself in a loving way.
Right.
It's like cause and effect. No care equals on
Yeah.
the back end.
Yeah. Well, cool. Thank you, Julie.
How long?
All right. Well, I hope you guys enjoyed listening to her about all of her information and all of her know-how about the chemistry behind taking care of your skin. And stay tuned for more in the future.